I think it's a great idea. She's basically doing what all candidates should be doing, is listening to voters. And if they are asking you questions and want detail how this affects me, give them that. So I think it's like any business responding to their customers. So we've been polling black men for the last year or so. And their top three issues all have to do with the economy, inflation, home ownership, the things she's talking about. But they want details. How is this going to work and when is this going to happen? The second thing they told us is we don't want to hear from celebrities. That's, 5% said that they'd listen to a celebrity on this topic. 32% said we'd rather hear from some black business leaders. So that's what we're doing. We're doing a town hall with her, with the black men rather, doing a texting campaign. We have a letter with 50 black leaders coming out later this week endorsing Kamala Harris as well.
Well, when we consider, as you mentioned, the polling you were doing, what black voters want to hear, I do wonder how much longer there really is, with less than 3 weeks to go until Election Day, to close the gap that has been created, not between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump in this regard, but where Kamala Harris is now compared to where Joe Biden was with this group in 2020. In 2020, Biden got, 87% of the black male vote? The numbers look much lower in this cycle. Is there still room for them to change materially?
Well, she's come up dramatically since she first launched. Remember, it's only been 70 days, so she had a lot of work to do to get the policy in place and to reach out to people. And one way you do that is to be explicit, because you have to get your message out quickly. She didn't have 2 years to get ready for this. So her momentum is going in the right direction, but given so little time, she's doing the right thing. Also talking to people who you normally wouldn't be expected to talk to. I think it's great. She's going on Fox News tonight. She's going to do some other shows as well. And so I think given the limited time frame, that's what you have to do.
You used that word again, Charles, explicit. You also made the point, though, that we share, as I guess varying demographics, pretty much all the same issues when it comes to the economy. People want to know how to get a house, how to pay for a car, how to pay for their kids. Why does it come down to targeting specific groups of people? This is what some refer to as identity politics, no?
Because there are specific groups who've been left out in the past. They felt like their needs weren't being addressed. They didn't participate. And if you're saying I can participate now and everyone's going to be included, how do I get in on this? And so I think it's okay. I mean, we do this for every other group all the time. There's all sorts of lobbyists for different industries, all sorts of lobbyists for gun ownership, you name it. Everybody wants to make sure that my thing is paid attention to. So I think her going group by group and saying, yeah, you're included, here's how it applies to you is a good thing.
And you mentioned that the kinds of individuals this group wants to hear from include black business leaders or just business leaders in general. And I do wonder, as we all witnessed on Bloomberg yesterday, Donald Trump getting a pretty warm reception in a room full of what included a lot of business leaders in Chicago, as we've seen as he's spoken before other economic clubs in New York or elsewhere. There is still a feeling that Donald Trump is better for business, whether it's big business or small business. How does the Harris campaign counter that messaging when she is floating things like higher corporate tax rates and the like?
I think you have to put the Trump economy in context. That's one of the things they're working on. I mean, he grew the economy about 2.5%. That's excluding his COVID year. Let's give him a break on that one. That's pretty much the same as what Obama did, 2.4% his last term, except Obama created more jobs, so about 215,000 per month. And so it's not like Trump did anything dramatically to change the course of the economy. It just continued for what he'd had. And then what people remember when we did the polling was the 2 COVID checks they got on the Trump with Trump's name on them. So that's a one-time thing. You have to explain that to people, like, yes, you got those checks and you were able to stop working for a while, which of course contributed to inflation as well. That's over with. And to do that, he cut taxes but created $8.4 trillion onto the deficit. So put all that in context. So yeah, that's a one-time error. It wasn't as good as people are saying it was. I'm going to do better.
We've learned today that Michelle Obama is going to be stumping for the Harris campaign. In fact, has a date set now, October 29 in Atlanta. This appears to be the real closing argument. Is the First Lady the most powerful surrogate Kamala Harris has to reach young black men?
She certainly has to be among the most powerful. She's respected by everyone. And so to the extent she's out there, that's great. President Obama's out there as well. But collectively, they have to get their message out on the actual economy. All these programs that we've been talking about, these are real. We can get them funded. You'll be able to buy a home. You can start a business. We're going to put an ESOP program, so if you're working for a big company, you can have some stock ownership. The list of things that she had in that paper that they put out had about 20 ideas in there. If you did half of those, that's going to help a lot of people, including a lot of black men.
Charles, as we have this conversation and look ahead 20 days to Election Day, it is worth pointing out the election already has begun. People are voting in a number of states, including Georgia, where early voting began with record turnout yesterday of more than 250,000 people. So how much is this about the turnout game, about encouraging some of these very same voters we're talking about to not sit on the sidelines, actually go out and put that ballot in the box, or however you want to phrase it, to get them to show up?
That's where all the attention on this race can benefit Vice President Harris. If you get people to actually pay attention, get excited about the election, feel like they have a stake in it, they want to have a say and go vote, higher turnout will help her among black men, and black community in general, but all groups. And so I do think she has an advantage if people actually go out and vote.
How should Kamala Harris be spending her time in the next 20 days here? We've been using the term closing arguments a lot this week. We have no more debates. Is it actually being on the ground in the swing states, talking to the voters that we're describing here today, Charles? Is it being on the air, doing more interviews, or both?
I think she has to do both. She is doing both, and I can't imagine how tiring her day must be, but she's doing all the major media outlets. She has more that are coming that I'm told. But she's on the ground going from state to state as well. But also they built a pretty big infrastructure without her in all these states with surrogates as well. So she's doing everything she can do. I just hope people are listening.